In this session, we'll be discussing about shortest job first. So this is the second category of CPU scheduling algorithms, which is completely based on non-preemptive. So preemptive shortest job we will see in the upcoming sessions. So shortest job first is completely based upon burst time, not the arrival time. FCFS is completely based upon arrival time, but shortest job is completely based upon burst time. So ready queue sends the jobs to the CPU which is having the lowest burst time. But there is a small conflict. If at all conflicts are same, if at all burst times are same, then immediately it solves or resolves the conflict just by going to the principle of FCFS. So what is FCFS principle? It depends upon arrival time. So what is the ideology here is that if at all burst times are same, then it resolves the conflict by checking the lowest arrival time. If at all arrival times are same, then it starts seeing the lowest process ID. So that is how at all the shortest job first is getting to be executed by the CPU. Now, it's completely based on shortest burst time. That too, it is two flavors. One is a non-preemptive and the other one is a preemptive. And I already told you the condition very clearly. What is the condition? If burst time of the processes are same, then immediately it is trying to see the lowest arrival time concept. So let us look at this example. There are 5 processes. Imagine that they are all arrived at the same arrival time, that is 0. So at the time of arrival time 0, the different processes have arrived. So P1 is there and P2 and even P3, even P4 and even P5. They have all arrived at time 0. But as you are implying shortest job first concept, that too it is a non-preemptive fashion, then what is going to happen? Among these, it start identifying which is having a lowest burst time. Among all these, which is having a lowest burst time, P5 is get to be executed, and it is executed for 2 units of time, and it is just completed at 2. So P5 completed, and what are the rest of the process are they still in ready queue? P1 is there, P2 is there, P3 is there, and P4 is there. Now you cross check among these 4 as they are in ready queue. We want to identify which is having the lowest burst time. So this is having the lowest burst time. So P2 is just delivered to the CPU, and P2 is executed 3 units of time. By 5 it is get completed. Then rest of the process are there in the ready queue, P1 and P3 and P4. Among these 3, which is having the shortest burst time? So P1 has got shortest burst time. So P1 get executed for 4 units of time. So by 9, it's also just completed. P2 completed at 5. And now the rest of the process are there in the ready queue, P3 and P4. Again, there is a race which has to be delivered to the CPU. So in this case, the P3 has a lowest burst time as comparatively to P4, and P3 is released, and P3 is executed for 5 units of time. By 14, it also just completed. Then after that, only one process left in the ready queue, that is a P4. So there is no requirement of any CPU scheduling because only one job is available. So P4 is executed, and it is executed 6 units. Then by 20 it also completed. So that's it. This is how shortest job first is performed jobs. Now turnaround time, as we know, it is nothing but completion time minus arrival time. So completion time 9 minus 0, which is nothing but 9. Then 5 minus 0, which is nothing but a 5. Then 14 minus 0, which is nothing but a 14. Then 20 minus 0, which is nothing but a 20. Then 2 minus 0, which is nothing but 2. And waiting time is nothing but your turnaround time minus your burst time. How much time? It is with CPU. That's the meaning of waiting time. Remaining time is idle only. So waiting time is 9 minus. Its burst time is only 4. Therefore, 5 is the waiting time. And 5 is the turnaround time. And its burst time is only 3. So its waiting time is 2. and 14 is your turnaround time and its burst time is 5, then 9 is your waiting time, then 20 is your turnaround time, 6 is a burst time, then 14 is your waiting time, then 2 minus 2 is your burst time, then 0, there is no waiting time for process 5. Now you take the average among them by taking by 5 average turnaround time we want. In the same way, we also want average waiting time. So 9 plus 5, 14, 14, 28, 48, and this one is 50 by 5. And average waiting time 5 plus 2, 7 plus 9, 16 plus 4, 30 by 5. So this is how to solve shortest job first. Now let me give a different example. If at all arrival times are different, so in this case what happened? At 0, no process has come. So the CPU is idle at the time. And then that only at arrival time 1, only one process is available in the ready queue, none other than P1. So P1 will be released. There is no concept of checking shortest burst time among other processes because none of the processes have arrived into the ready queue except P1 at a time 1. That's very important point in this case. Then P1 executed completely 7 units because it is a non-preemptive nature. By 8 it got completed. Then during execution from 0 to 8 units of time, if you observe that all the rest of the process have arrived. So P2 is arrived as well as P3 is arrived as well as P4 is arrived as well as P5 is available. Now we need to cross check shortest burst time. So here in this case among these 4 which is having the shortest burst time, that is a P3. So P3 is executed for 1 unit of time. By 9 it get completed. Then the rest of the process which is there after processing of your P3, that is a P2 and P4 and P5. So among these 3, which is having the lowest burst time? None other than P4. So P4 get executed 2 units of time. By 11 it also got completed. Then the rest of the process is P2 and P5. Among these 2 which is having the lowest burst time, P2 has got lowest burst time. So P2 executed for 5 units of time. By 16 it completed and only one process is left, that is nothing but a P5, and P5 is executed for 8 units of time. By 24 it completed. The rest of the process, you know what is a turnaround time, what is a waiting time. Please do it at your side. If you have any doubts you can comment, then in the next lecture I will rectify it. So turnaround time, you know, completion time minus arrival time. So 8 minus 1 which is nothing but a 7, then 16 minus 2 which is nothing but a 14, then 9 minus 3 which is nothing but a 6, then 11 minus 4 which is nothing but a 7, then 24 minus 5 which is nothing but a 19. That is the turnaround time. Waiting time is turnaround time minus your burst time. So 7 minus 7, then 14 minus 5, then 6 minus 1, then 7 minus 2, then 19 minus 8. So let us see another different one. So at arrival time 0, yes, there is a process, only one process has come. You just put it in the ready queue, P1. So P1 is executed over 4 units of time. There is no need to compare because only one process is there in your ready queue right now. So P1 is executed. Then during execution 4 units of time, up to 4 you need to drop all the rest of the process. So P2 is there and P3 is there and P4 is there and P5 is there. So among these, which is having the shortest burst time? This guy. So P4 is executed for 1 unit of time. Then for 5 it is also completed. P1 is completed at 4. And now P4, which process just is completed? P4 is completed. Rest of the process is P2 is there and P3 is there and P5 is there. And at 5 one more process is also dropped because it arrived just now. Then drop it. So among P2, P3, P5 and P6 you need to choose which is having lowest burst time. Of course P6. So P6 is executed and by 6 it got completed. All other processes are there in ready queue, so we need not drop anything. Then the rest of the process in the ready queue, P2 is there and P3 is there and P5 is there. Among these three, so P2 and P3 and P5, P2, P3 and P5, which is having lowest burst time. So P2 is having a lowest burst time. P2 is executed for 2 units of time, so 8 it got completed. And the rest of the process are P3 and P5. So among these two, which is having the lowest burst time, P3 and P5, so this is 3 and this is 5. So P3 is sent to CPU. So P3 is executed by 11, it got completed. And only one of the process is left in the ready queue, that is nothing but a P5. So P5 is executed 5 units of time. So 16, it get completed. The rest of the work you do turnaround time and wait time. So what is the problem with the shortest job first? Starvation. So it is executing shortest jobs first initially. Therefore, longer burst time jobs are getting to be sent to queue later. So they are not going to be dispatched, they are not going to be considered for urgent execution because they are having a longest burst time. So in this algorithm, shorter burst time jobs are given a first priority than the other particular process. That's why there is a concept called starvation in this. But another important, what I mean to say, a limitation is that, so you need to predict which job is having the shortest burst time. So the prediction can be done using a static method and dynamic method. So it is nothing but a what? Static method is process type, what type of process it is, and what type of process size is. Based on that, it considered. And dynamic method, there is a method called simple average. So using a simple average method, you can able to predict which is having the shortest burst time. And the other methodology, very famous, that is exponential average. So you try to identify the shortest burst time using this equation.